Welcome to Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at Dr. Zayli's Desk special. Join us as we dive into the topics related to living with a facial disfigurement. Whether you're here for yourself, your loved ones, or for educational and professional insights, this is for you. We start our conversation with clear, understandable terminology. While we use disfigurement, it's for medical and legal clarity. We acknowledge you may relate to terms like visible difference or your own diagnoses. All our presenters have lived experience or work with people living with facial disfigurement. Curious to know more? So are we. Pull up a seat, grab a cuppa, and let's chat around the table with Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at Dr. Zayli's Desk special.
Hi everyone and welcome back. Thank you very much for coming and joining us today. Today's special guest is David Roche. He is a retired actor and author. Let's bring him on right now. How are you?
I'm happy to see you and I'm happy to do this. So good enough.
Thank you. So whereabouts are you from?
I was born in Chicago in the United States, and then at a young age I followed the hippie trail to San Francisco.
Yep.
I lived there for about 30 years and then moved up to just north of Vancouver, British Columbia, in an area called the Sunshine Coast. It's the rainforest is where I live, in a little rural community, my wife and I.
Lovely. Thank
It
you. So a rainforest, that would be lovely. Do you go for walks?
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll cheat a bit.
Yep.
I don't know if you can see it. Every window, there's 100-foot tall cedar trees.
Wow.
So that's the environment I live in, and it's a 10-minute walk down to the ocean. So I'm
Really?
a happy boy.
Yes, you would be. Now, I live in a cold place at the moment.
Yeah.
It's winter. It's just started winter. Is there anything that you would like to tell us, something fun that you like doing before you tell us your story?
Fun that I like doing.
Yeah.
I'm 80. My wife is 75, and what we both like to do is eat dinner in bed together at about 7 p.m. at night, and we'll just cuddle up together and watch TV. That
Lovely.
that is my definition of fun nowadays, and I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it when you were young and you were traveling that line of hippiedom? Do we want to ask?
Well, I was not a very good hippie. As a matter of fact, I would say I would call myself the world's only anal retentive hippie. It was like, hey, let's get the dishes done before we light up. And I was the only one who did the dishes. So,
They thank you later when they'll get hungry and they got the munchies again and there was clean
yeah,
dishes.
yeah.
May I ask about your story of what's happened to your face?
Well, the day I was born, I had a slight discoloration on my left eyelid, and the doctor said, "Don't worry, Mrs. Roach, it will go away in a few days." Well, it's been thousands of days, and it hasn't gone away. It has grown. It's blood vessels that just keep growing and growing and growing. This is 80 years worth here, so it's not the end of the world, but nobody knew what to do back then. This was 1944. What they did was they cut off my lower lip and they gave me very heavy radiation that was not measured, nor was it correctly targeted. So it covered the whole left side of my face and head, and my jaw is really small, and I lost my teeth. Back then, radiation was a miracle cure. And it's still used now. When I tell this to children, I explain to them that radiation today is different than what it was back then. And then since then, I've had surgeries and procedures, and yeah, I just something I have to deal with. I don't have constant pain. I have recurrent pain as the blood vessels are just slowly expanding inside my head. But look, I made it to 80 years old, and then somehow with radiation to my head, and that would include my brain,
Yeah.
that they didn't know what they were doing. Uh, Somehow I did okay. So maybe they did the right thing after all. Who knows? But here I am. And I didn't know what had happened to me. Back then it was called a hemangioma. That was a misdiagnosis. Um, and it was when I was 30 years old at the University of California at San Francisco. They started having clinics. In other words, there would be half a dozen physicians, nurses, social workers, examining me and talking amongst themselves. It used to be there'd be just one, one cowboy doctor saying, "I'm the only one who knows what you have, and I'm the only one who can take care of you. So let's get on the operating table." No, that didn't work. So now I get good medical care from, life with a vascular malformation.
You had surgeries. Were they extra surgeries?
Yes.
Before, were they your choice to have those extra surgeries? Can I ask what they were?
As
And
as a child,
were they for cosmetic?
as a child, it was not my choice because nobody knew what to do except the experts, and this is at a famous clinic in the United States, the Mayo Clinic. Um, and as I got into adulthood, yes, I had a choice. But as my teeth deteriorated, I had to have them removed. There was no choice about that. My left eye is irritated. That's about it. I don't think of myself as facing a lot of challenges at this time. When I was younger, certainly in my adolescence and young adulthood, the challenge was feeling like a freak, an anomaly, and even then, most people are kind, but you get the stares. And the thing that was really challenging is, you know, children age 4, 5, they're uh, they're at an age when they're very aware of monsters. That's when the monsters are living under the bed or in the closet. So it's a little more likely when a child that age sees me that they're really afraid, and they hide behind their mother's legs, and in some cases they'll start crying. I don't like that at all. So I would call that a challenge. But I live this area that I live in. There's only about 35,000 people up and down the coast, and I've been living here for over 20 years, and I have a public persona. There's pictures of me in the paper. My books are published, and there's book reviews, so I am easily recognizable, and so there are all kinds of people who come up and say, "Hi, David, how you doing?" And I have no idea who they are. Do you ever have that happen?
I'm getting that well, not because I'm famous or that, but I live in a smaller town,
Yeah.
and as we grow up, you know, I've had I was a teacher, and I went into a local school with an application, and this lady came down the passage, looked at my face, obviously thought that I was Zaylee, and said, "Oh, hello, Zaylee. How are you?" And I looked at her, and I was like, and my jaw dropped, and I just was like, "Excuse me, but who are you? And how do you know me?" And she said, "Oh, because my mum was a teacher, same time that the car accident happened with your mum. I live with third nerve palsy, and that's a direct consequence of a motor vehicle accident as a newborn."
Oh, so we both got off to a good start, didn't we, Taylor?
Oh, yeah, we did. And so basically, this woman saw my face, thought that I could not, you know, it could not possibly but anyone be, it could not be anyone else but Zaylee. And her and her husband were the vice principal of this particular school. I didn't get a look in. I didn't even get an interview. Just thought that's very strange. So
It is amazing, and I empathize. That was really unjustified. Yeah, and I'm sure that I have
yeah.
had similar things happen to me, but I don't even know that I was being judged.
So what do you think that we, as living with a visible difference or facial disfigurement or facial difference, um, what do you think that you would like to, um, what would you like for the people to know about?
Here's what I'd like people to know about. I didn't get on stage until I was in my 40s. What changed for me was I had to quit alcohol, and then I met Marlena, my soulmate, and I was sober, and I was in love. And then somehow that inspired me to get on stage, and I started doing well. Um, Almost immediately. It took me a couple years. People would keep telling me, "Well, you did great. Oh, that was so funny. Oh, it was inspiring." And I thought they were just being nice to the little disfigured guy.
Mm.
Okay. After a while, I realized, no, I'm good. I'm really good at what I do, or what I did, I should say. It's pretty rare, Um, and then I realized that the reason people like what I do was okay, I'm funny, definitely. But I realized that everybody feels disfigured. Even it might be a wart, a mole, or disfigured emotionally, or disfigured intellectually, let's say dyslexia, whatever kind of thing, or disfigured by poverty due to racial prejudice, any kind of a thing like that. And
Mm.
so who I am is I'm on stage being cute and funny and confident. There are 500 people in the audience, and they're having the same experience. They don't realize it, that they feel just as disfigured as I do. It's the human condition to feel guilty and stupid and ashamed and ugly and whatever kind of judgment you make about yourself. And when you make that kind of judgment about yourself, that's when capitalism comes in. You better buy better clothes. You better buy makeup. You better do this. You better do that. And someone is making money off of your self doubt. Okay, we, as facially different people, we understand the human condition better than all the quote able-faced people. That's what I have decided at my age after decades on stage, in front of audiences, on screen, at the podium, on and on. We have a gift that we can bring to the world because all you people who think you're so cute, you're no different than we are. Yeah, no, that's what that's the thing that I feel like is important for me to communicate. It's easy for those of us with facial differences to, decide, well, you should stop being mean to us. Well, that's true, but it's beyond that. You should listen to
Mm,
us because we have something to tell you, that we have been given the gift of understanding things.
mm.
We've had to learn how to find our own beauty inside ourselves. You have to do that too. We know how to do it. Ask us.
Yes, ask us. Can I ask about? You said that you met your wife around 40. You fell in love. You quit alcohol. Was
Yes.
How did you use alcohol? Did you use alcohol to soothe because of your facial disfigurement, or?
I'd be happy to because that's an important topic, and thank you for asking. Um,
Hmm.
uh, Everybody, I'm one of 7 children, and everybody in the family drank. The usual beverage was beer.
Okay.
And we started drinking as teenagers. The first time I got drunk, I was 11 years old. And what I did, it was at Thanksgiving holiday. The whole families are together, aunts and uncles, grandparents. And then on holidays, then the real alcohol came out, the vodka, the bourbon, the scotch, etc. And all the adults had cocktails. So I was like 11 years old. I would go around the room and I would find the glasses that had that little bit of alcohol left in them, and I would polish it off. All the adults thought, oh, that's cute, but I got drunk. And I went out into the dark with my little brother to take a walk, and they had to find us. Um, so that was my first time with alcohol. I usually did not. I wasn't. One of my brothers was the kind who like wake up in jail. A dozen times in his short life. I didn't do stuff like that. But what I noticed was even when I was that what I noticed was the mornings were not the same. The mornings, I wasn't like drunk and sleeping, but the edge was gone. I
Hmm.
wasn't myself all morning when I drank the night before. And yeah, I didn't pass out, went to bed, but it still affected me. And that's about at the age in your mid 40s when you start to feel that kind of thing. When you just start getting what in Alcoholics Anonymous would call a wet drain. So I had to finish that. Yeah.
Well, you
And then,
chose to.
huh?
It was a choice that you chose. It was a good choice, but that was a choice. You didn't have to choose it, but you did choose it.
Yes, I did. And it's really helped me. Look, I'm quite healthy at age 80, amazingly so. And not having alcohol in my life has really helped with that.
Mm, mm, yeah. You like snuggling with your wife and watching movies? Have you any children?
I have a daughter from my first marriage who's an amazing, well, I think of her as a young woman. She just turned 56. So I got married back then, being raised as a Catholic. Uh, I married the first woman I had sex with. You know,
Hmm.
that's what God wants you to do. you know. And a month after we got married, my first wife got pregnant, and we had a daughter. And it was uh, in my family of birth. There were 7 of us, which is pretty amazing. And my mother, as soon as the youngest child entered what we called kindergarten,
Mm.
she got a job. So my mother, for most of her motherhood, had a full-time job and 7 children. So, yeah. So she liked to have alcohol at the end of the day, the end of the evening.
Mm.
She was what you call a working
Mm.
alcoholic. Yeah. So that was like a
Yes.
way of life,
Yeah.
and it wasn't that strange, you know. It wasn't us being the only ones. That was like the way people lived, you know, and still do to a
Yeah.
great degree. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. Is there anything else that you would like to?
Okay. Well, don't forget,
Is
uh,
there anything else that?
I was a special guest at the Paralympics in Sydney in the year
Mhm.
2000, and I still have very happy memories of Australia and you Aussies, um, especially because uh, in prior Olympics in the United States, the Paralympics did not get covered by the press, but in Australia, there was just as much attention paid to the Paralympics as to the regular Olympics. So I came and I got interviewed a lot and I did shows, and that was really great. So happy memories. I also had been in Melbourne and Adelaide, and so yes, have a happy winter.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Dr. Saley.
By golly gosh, it's the end of Karibu Anawim's
So,
15 minutes at Dr.
thank you
Zaley's
very
Desk special.
much,
And that's a
David.
wrap for this episode.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
tuning in. Please remember
Thank
that
you.
all information given during this
It's
episode is
Take
for
moving
care.
very
general
slowly.
application only. If you have any specific
I'm
medical
leaving
issues,
now.
as always, consult with your medical practitioner. Like, subscribe, and share on whatever platform you find us on. For more information, please connect with Karibu Anawim on our website at karibuanawim.com or email us at inquiries@karibuanawim.com.